Episode number 964, Open Networking, the most undervalued time.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you, and where are you?
Well, I just got back from visiting BNI Ireland and BNI United Kingdom, and this week I'm in BNI Portugal. And so doing a European tour a little bit and having a great time meeting members and directors.
Oh, it sounds so good. I love it. And what are you going to share with us today?
Well, today's topic is an interesting one, and one that I don't think we really spent the whole podcast on, and that's the open networking portion of the meeting, which is, I think, the most undervalued 15 minutes in BNI. And we have as my guest Spencer Reynolds. This is Spencer's fourth guest appearance on the BNI podcast. And I want to introduce him as the next guest host of some of the BNI podcasts. With my travel and a number of other things, it's really good to have a guest host, and Spencer will be that in the future. Spencer is one of four executive directors in the BNI Tampa Bay area, the largest regions in the U.S., and they support 2,250 members with more than 70 chapters. And nearly 2 decades in BNI, Spencer's helped launch dozens of chapters and is known for developing high-impact training systems that really drive member engagement. And I've seen that. I just saw that recently, having attended the U.S. conference a few weeks ago in Orlando. And he's doing an amazing job. He had a great team there. Spencer, welcome back to BNI Podcast.
Thank you very much. Excited to be here with you.
It's good to have you. So we're talking about the open networking portion of the meeting, which I don't think we've ever had a whole podcast on that. So I think it's a great topic. Open networking sets the emotional tone for the entire meeting. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, the real thing is this is where our visitors get a first impression of who we are and who we are as a group as well. This is really where our relationships begin. If you really think about the opportunity, I think what we had happen is during COVID time, when we were all online, it was really easy to show up right before the meeting started because you could just click a button. And then when we went back to in-person and we started doing the networking that we know and love, there's still a lot of people who continue doing that, show up at the last moment. And maybe it was a problem before and you could address that conversation. But as we come into the world that we're in now, where we still have the online tools and all the things that we can do, those in-person and online meetings are vital to have that first opening meeting time to build relationships, to really feel a part of the group. And our visitors, this is where they get the first taste.
Yeah, it has always been an issue, not a big issue, but an issue. And for many years, I've talked about the fact that it's really important to be there for the open networking, to meet the visitors that come on in, and online as well, because it gives you a chance to meet the visitors online. So the open networking portion of the meeting is really critical. We discovered that visitor hosts help a great deal with that. And that was several years into BNI before we created the visitor host.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when did open networking become a thing in BNI? Really a part of the system?
First meeting. Yeah. January 8th, 1985, we had open networking first. It gave, people a chance to kind of meet and greet each other. So it's been part of the organization from the very beginning.
And I think all of us need to hear that it's that important. It was the first meeting. It was the first thing that was done in the first meeting. That is a big deal.
Yeah, it kind of is. I never really thought of that, but it really is. I mean, from day one, I realized that it was kind of important to connect with people that had never been to the meeting before, so that they can, kind of ease into it and not just be thrown into an operating meeting. So What are some of the biggest mistakes that members make in the open networking?
I think one of them is when people, they know each other. And so that's the best part of BNI. It's also the worst part of BNI because now you just talk to the people that you know. And we ignore sometimes those people who we don't know that come in and we're like, hey, this is our time to get to know these people and show them who we are. So I think talking only to members is probably one big problem. Or another one is staying in a little clique.
Can I just comment on that? I couldn't agree with you more. I think one of the strengths of BNI is that all of the members are friends, and one of the weaknesses of BNI is that all of the members are friends. And it's very easy to, hone in on the people that you know as they come in. And I get that. I totally get that. And at the same time, you want to also make time for the visitors that are there. So go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
Well, no, I mean, when you think about the cliques, like we all have our friends that we really click with, and we do good. Yeah. We do good with them. And so it's really easy to fall into that same conversation, and we continue the conversations we've had in the past with our friends. But the reality is that we need to branch out a lot more. This is where we get to know new people. This is where maybe newer members, as well as our visitors and guests that are in the room with us. So I think making sure that, yes, we have our friends that we know really well. This is the time we need to talk to each other before that, saying, let's make sure we engage with everybody else. Because this is where
friendships can look like cliques. And they aren't necessarily that. They are, in fact, friendships, but it doesn't come across as a clique when those friends then reach out to or welcome into a discussion with people that they really like in BNI, their friends, and welcome them into the conversation. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, we have something we do in our region is we have new member socials, and we invite them over to our home, all of our new members and their sponsors. And I had one just this last week who actually said, well, there was a whole group of people that they all had these different groups and they were all in cliques. And I said, oh, I don't believe there were any cliques here because nobody knew each other. But I think we think a lot of times when there's a group of people, and we know the open twos and closed twos and open threes, and that could look like a clique to the wrong thing. So we got to be also aware of the way we're standing in our body language. So we are open up to those people.
Yeah. I mean, a groove can feel like a rut if you're not careful. And we get in a groove, and that groove is often, hanging out with or connecting with the friends, connecting with people that we may have met before. But from the outside, that can look like, like a clique or a rut. So it's important to be cognizant of that.
For sure.
In any network.
Absolutely.
So give me the framework for open networking in your mind.
Well, I really think the first thing is, the 3 S's in my opinion: seek, serve, and set up. So seek, meet someone new. Like, what if every time you came, you're looking for the new face that you don't know, and you seek them out first and foremost? You're excited to meet them. You put a happy face on. That's what people remember, is the feeling that they felt when they walked in the room.
Yes, focusing on the visitor host might be a good way to start with that. Look to see where the visitor host is, because they're going to have the visitor, and then go on up and introduce yourself.
I find the very best way to go to any networking meeting, especially a BNI meeting, is act like you're the host of the meeting regardless. I go to other events and I act like I'm the host, and people think I'm the one putting it on. It's like, no, I just act like one.
Yeah, I talk about that in World's Best Known Marketing Secret. Act like the host, not the guest.
That's where I learned it from. So
I'm thankful.
The next one is serve. And that's really learn how to help. If you're brand new to the chapter, if you've been there forever and ever, this is the opportunity where we all get to serve. And this is Givers Gain in real motion. How can I help the other people in the room? There's a president setting up things. There's the people who are setting up for the meeting. How can I also help in that? Putting up the signs, putting out the things. It may not be my role in the chapter, but if I'm serving, I'm looking for opportunity, and I'm also going to have conversations with people that I probably wouldn't have otherwise.
Yeah, and when you're serving, you're building a relationship with those members, and when you build that relationship, they really want to help you. They want to refer you. They're looking for ways to refer you when you build a relationship with people.
Yeah, and the third one is to set up, meaning what's next? The next step. What can I do to set up a one-to-one meeting? How can I develop the referral we've already talked about into a real connection so that I can follow up and make sure those things are actually connecting with other members? So I think that this time in the meeting especially, and this is not just the 15 minutes before the meeting, as you know, this is also after the meeting. Open networking happens before and after.
And after, good point.
And having that opportunity, because you at first may have, I'm going to set up a one-to-one with someone. do that instead of talking about the last sports game. Because there are people like me who just don't really care about sports, and that's not going to turn them onto something that you're excited to talk about. So having an opportunity to set up one-to-ones, learn about people's businesses. And then after the meeting, sometimes we hear things that happened during the meeting. We hear somebody who mentioned a specific referral request that we go, hey, is this the kind of person you're looking for? And actually building on what they've done so you can go out and make that connection and turn it into a real referral that generates business for them. And I think that is why it's so important that we're listening, taking notes during the meeting, and then following up with the people after the meeting and that open networking as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up after the meeting. Part of the meeting, the formal part of the meeting, it does have open networking in the beginning, and we don't have, as part of the formal meeting, open networking at the end. However, that is a great time to connect with people. And I know a lot of chapters that really do focus on, hey, stick around for a little while, talk to some of the members if you're a visitor. And sometimes members will actually do one-to-ones after a meeting. They'll go to a different part of the restaurant and do one-to-ones. And so that open networking and one-to-one opportunity exists after the meeting as well as before the meeting.
It's a big deal. I can tell people in chapters, I can tell how successful the chapter is and whether they're on the right track if they have a lot of people who are still there 15, 30 minutes after. Yeah. Right? They're doing the right things. I mean, I just left a meeting. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta be on the call with Ivan right now. And I'm like, I was there for an hour and 15 minutes after. And there were people who did have one-to-ones, and then they came out and joined us in the parking lot as we were still talking. But I think what we need to know and do as people is we need to be engaged in learning. We believe in lifelong learning as a core value of who we are as BNI members. And I think the more we learn, listening to podcasts, going out and doing activities where we are learning skills and things that can help in business, now we actually become very interesting, and we can be interested in the people that we're talking to and also be able to share things. So some people may be worried, like, what do I say? I don't know what to do during that time. Listen to a great podcast. Do some learning.
This is great information. We're wrapping up. One of the things that I think you said in the material I got from you was that it may feel informal, but this is an emotional connection that you can make with other people. I think that's really powerful.
It really is.
Any last thought before we wrap?
Always, always, always be looking for ways that you can be the happy person in the room, connect with the people who don't know what to do with that room yet.
I love that. What a great answer. Spencer, thanks for being here. Thanks for agreeing to be a future guest host. And your website is bnitampa.com. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you. And I love this topic. It's the first time I think that we've ever had just the open networking as part of the topic. So
thanks for doing it with me. I appreciate it.
Over to you, Priscilla.
Okay. Well, that was really great. Thank you for that great information. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioPrograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and the inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material available to you at MeisnerAudioPrograms.com, and then use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thank you so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.